It's nearly spring, which means a lot is changing in the night sky. March is a transition month here on Earth, and the skies are not exempted. I hope you had clear skies and saw the total lunar eclipse earlier this month. I would love to hear how it went for you down in the comments. Even though the eclipse is over, March still has a lot to offer. This month we will see some beautiful planetary pairings, the return of the Milky Way Core, darker skies around the new moon, and even a statistically stronger chance of auroral activity around the equinox. So let's get started. On the evenings of March 7th and 8th, look low in the western sky just after sunset to see Venus and Saturn very close together in what is called a conjunction. Venus will be extremely bright and easy to spot. Saturn will be dimmer, but still clearly visible nearby under clear skies. You will need a clear western horizon because they will sit fairly low and set quickly after sunset. For photographers, this is a nice opportunity to use a longer focal length lens to compress the two planets together in the frame. If you include a distant mountain ridge or a landscape feature, it can make a very clean, simple composition. One of the biggest seasonal changes in March is the return of the Milky Way Core. All winter long, the bright galactic center has been below the horizon during the night. In March, it rises in the southeast a few hours before sunrise. Early in the month, it rises closer to sunrise. By the end of March, it rises earlier and becomes much more practical to photograph. Even though the core has been visible briefly in previous months, March is traditionally considered the beginning of Milky Way season, since the Milky Way core is visible for a reasonable amount of time. Look for locations with a clear southeast horizon. The core will still be relatively low in the sky, which can actually create strong compositions with arches, canyon walls, or rock formations near the horizon. So set your alarm early and catch the Milky Way. The best time to capture the Milky Way is during a new moon, and this month it will be happening on March 18th. If you want to capture the Milky Way but aren't sure how, my course, Milky Way in Motion, will walk you through every step. I take you through my full planning and image taking workflow in just a few hours. There are also extra editing modules, live Q&As, and a lot of support. Make 2026 the year you master Milky Way photography. You can find the link to the course in the description below. The new moon is your darkest sky of the month and the best window for Milky Way or deep sky photography. If you are interested in spotting or capturing galaxies, this is prime time, because the absence of moonlight makes faint galaxies much easier to see and capture. Spring is considered galaxy season in the northern hemisphere, because the regions where many nearby galaxies are located are positioned well in the night sky and visible for most of the night. Just after the new moon, on March 19th and 20th, a thin crescent moon will pair beautifully with Venus. This will be low in the western sky and visible shortly after sunset. Thin crescents are always photogenic. When paired with a bright planet like Venus, they create a simple and elegant composition. A short telephoto lens works well here. Expose carefully for the crescent so that you retain detail. With a slightly longer exposure, you may even capture earthshine on the darker portions of the moon. Earthshine is when sunlight hits the earth and reflects back up onto the dark parts of the moon. This happens when the moon is near the horizon around sunrise or sunset. Later in the month, on March 25th and 26th, the moon will move into position near Jupiter. This pairing will be higher in the sky and visible for much longer than the low western sky events earlier in the month. Jupiter will shine bright near the moon and should be easy to identify. During March, the winter Milky Way is still visible after nightfall. As March goes on, Orion and the winter Milky Way will continue setting earlier each day. March is a great month to capture the arch of the winter Milky Way near the western horizon. Near the new moon in March, you can even photograph the winter and summer Milky Way arches from the same location in the same night. Make sure you subscribe so you catch my video next week on how you can plan a double arch Milky Way image. The March equinox occurs around March 20th and marks the official start of spring. On this night, day and night are nearly equal in length. After this point, our days will start getting longer, which means less night for us night photographers. But don't worry, it also means the nights won't be quite so chilly. Pay attention to your aurora alerts near the equinox because historically, auroral activity increases around the March and September equinox. The reason has to do with the orientation of Earth's magnetic field relative to the solar wind. Around the equinox, the geometry allows energy from the sun to couple more efficiently with Earth's magnetic sphere. When that happens, geomagnetic storms become more likely. It doesn't guarantee aurora, but statistically, this is usually one of the better windows of the year. So especially if you live in northern latitudes, March is worth watching the space weather forecasts. This is one of those months where a little planning goes a long way. If you'd like reminders before major sky events each month, along with simple timing details and photography tips, make sure you're on my newsletter list. I send out a monthly night sky guide and alerts before the biggest events so that you're prepared ahead of time. You'll find the link to join in the description and comment section below. Also, please subscribe to this channel for more night photography content. And until next time, take care and clear skies.